Shalom, shalom, and welcome back to Ema and Me at Home. I'm so glad that you've chosen to be with us again here on the channel. Today I want to talk about, 1 Corinthians 15 verse 52 talks about in a moment and a twinkling of an eye. And, back in December 2021, that's exactly what happened to me and my mother's life. In a moment and a twinkling of an eye, our lives changed. Unfortunately, she suffered a stroke, a brainstem stroke, and everything that we knew and could do, it just changed just like that in a moment. And, sometimes we do take things in life for granted. And so in those situations, we can be caught off guard. And that was the case for me. At that particular time in our life, we were visiting family and friends out of state. And on that time, while we were away from our home, we were attending a funeral. And unfortunately, at that funeral was when my Ema, she suffered a stroke. And because we were not familiar with the state we were in, the hospital that she ultimately got taken to, didn't know anything about. Later, people were saying, "Oh, you shouldn't have taken her there." And I'm thinking, well, how would I know? Not all hospitals are bad. And it's not necessarily the hospitals that make it quote unquote bad. It's sometimes the people who work in the hospitals. And, this particular hospital was a teaching hospital, which I will not name. But that's why it's so important that we know who we serve. If you are a believer, which we are faith people, and in those times is when you really need to know the one who you serve and know what the word of the one you serve says about healing and deliverance and having faith and things of that nature. I won't make this too long, but the Most High, he did some amazing things for my mother in that particular time. She was in the hospital from December 2021, and she was officially discharged on February 1st of 2022. That's a long time to be in the hospital. But, one of the things that happened while in the hospital during that time, they had to intubate her, and once maybe the day or two after they had intubated her, they extubated her. They took her off the ventilator to see how she would do, and she didn't do too well, so they had to re-intubate her. And during that time, she was on the ventilator for over 20 days, which is not normal. And in the 20 days, this is where the Most High, man, when I tell you he showed up and showed out, but it also taught me a lot of things too. In the midst of that time, all of that time, I had to learn how to trust the Most High, because I later found out I wasn't really trusting him like I thought I was. I had to learn about what power of attorney meant, medical power of attorney, guardianship. I had to learn what are those and what's the difference between those. And there is a difference. I also learned that you should, if you can at all costs, don't leave your loved one in the hospital unattended. And I know everybody's not able to do that, but that's why community is also important, where you could have a group of people that will work with you around the clock and who knows the pertinent information about your loved one, which was another thing I had to learn about, learning what things about my mother did I know and did I not know that I had to go find out about. So there's a lot of things that I learned in that amount of time, from December 2021 to February 2022, that I will be breaking down in smaller segments to help give tidbits and information that could potentially help somebody else in a similar situation like ours. Also, I had to learn about